one girlfriend, one boyfriend, a living in relationship with a brutal secret hidden inside of a refrigerator. Today, I'm bringing you to India to talk about the horrifying murder case of Shraddha Walkar. Hello, you guys, and welcome to the GMC channel. I am Esther Vincent, also known as Liamia on social media. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. I hope you guys stick around till the end, and if you do, please don't forget to leave me a like, a comment, share it with your friends this video. And if you have not done so, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel, help the channel grow further. And without further ado, let's get into today's crime story. Shraddha Walkar was 27 years old. She was described by her friends as cheerful, stubborn in a quiet way, and deeply emotional. She was born in 1995 in Maharashtra, India. Her family was not perfect as her parents were divorced, but after the divorce, Shraddha lived with her mother and her brother mostly, but she maintained a very close relationship with her father, Vikas. She studied in a convent school and later continued on to a college, but she dropped out of that college later on. Since she was no longer studying, she decided to take up a job and she took a call center agent job in a company and made quite a few friends over there. Still, she felt that something was missing. There was this gap in her heart that she was longing to fill in. After some friends' persuasion, one day she decided she is going to try her luck in dating apps, and the app of her choice was Bumble. Shraddha was a little skeptical about these online dating apps, and at first nothing seemed to be happening. Nobody seems to be interesting enough for Shraddha. But then this one day, she came across this profile. The profile with the name Aaftab Amin Poonawala. He was 30 years of age and lived in the same city as Shraddha. And guess what? Soon enough, she finds out that he works in the same call center as her. Would you look at that? What a coincidence, right? This made Shraddha believe in this ordeal even more, like it was meant to be. He lived in the same city as her, worked in the same call center as her, like it was just fate, right? Or so she believed. At first, their friendship felt modern, exciting, and uncomplicated. Just two young people talking late into the night, sharing the stories of their work, their struggles, and future dreams. What started off as a casual conversation between them very soon, quickly enough, turned into something more romantic. Shraddha, especially, she was fully emotionally invested into the relationship. But her family did not approve of this relationship. They objected to the interfaith nature of their relationship because Shraddha was of a Hindu belief and Aaftab was a Muslim. But more importantly, they just sensed something off about this new stranger, Aaftab. Arguments at home became frequent, and Shraddha, caught in between loyalty towards her family or her emotional dependence on her lover, Aaftab, she made a decision that would change everything. She left home. She chose him and decided to start a live-in relationship with Aaftab. Her family was very unhappy. Shraddha was their only daughter, and they felt like she is just rushing into all of this a little too quickly. They were upset that this new stranger, Aaftab, has come into their daughter's life, influenced her, and changed her. But almost immediately, cracks began to form. Friends later said this was when her world slowly shrank. What looked like independence on the outside soon became isolation. People close to Shraddha said that Aaftab was very controlling. He checked her phone, he questioned her friendships, he accused her of cheating. The arguments were not just verbal. There were times when Shraddha confided in her friends that Aaftab hits her. Bruises were found on her body. Her father had seen her with badly shrunken eyes and marks on her body. When confronted, she gave excuses. Despite all of this, she chose to stay with him. Now approaching her late 20s, Shraddha wanted stability. She wanted marriage. She wanted to start a family. She wanted commitment and hoped that that commitment would finally quiet the chaos in her life. But but Aftab did not want any of this. As per Aftab, their relationship is going well, loving and affectionate even, until Shraddha brings up the topic of marriage, which he dreaded. We are not ready, he says. So a dude with commitment issue. So if you're not ready to commit, leave the relationship. Like just leave. Don't get into a relationship, right? So this was one of their main issue, the reason for many of their arguments, and day by day the arguments were getting worse and worse. Is that even a word? Worse or worse? Worse and worser, right? So yeah, day by day their arguments were getting bad. Somewhere in 2022, they decided they are going to go on a backpacking trip to Himachal Pradesh, maybe as an escape from their argument filled life, or maybe just to mend their very broken relationship. And guess what? For some time, that seemed to have been working. Their relationship got better, they were in a better mind space. And so the couple decides their biggest decision ever to move again, this time to Delhi. It was the city, and they thought they would have much better opportunity over here, especially for Aftab, who was trying to become a content creator slash food blogger, sort of. They rented a small flat in a densely populated area with forested land surrounding it. Shraddha told no one of this big move, not to her father or her uncle, whom she had been always talking to and updating about her life. So nobody from Shraddha's family knew about the move. They all thought that she was still living with Aftab in Bangalore. To the outside world, it may have looked like a new, fresh start. To Shraddha, it may have even felt like the final attempt to save her relationship. But inside the new flat, arguments kept on starting. Fightings were getting out of control. Money, marriage, infidelity, control. And on such one night, those tensions reached a point of no return. What exactly happened inside of that small flat can only be pieced together by Aftab's statements, police findings, and circumstantial evidence. What emerged out of all of those was extremely disturbing. Before I go in further, I would like to mention viewers' discretion again, because after this, the story gets really graphic. That night, an argument broke out. Shraddha once again brought up the marriage topic. This time she wanted a clear answer, as they have made this huge move and they're living together. She wanted a clear answer out of Aftab. According to the investigators, Aftab felt trapped, cornered, and angry. In a moment that prosecutors would later describe as explosive violent, he attacked her. He jumped on her, strangled her. The argument ended when he strangled her, and when he let go, Shraddha Walkar was dead. The room went quiet. What followed was not a full blown panic, but it was calculation. Investigators believe that Aftab sat with Shraddha's dead body for hours. In later statement, Aftab would claim fear of consequences of his action, fear of prison, and fear of him losing his own life. The audacity. He paced around his flat thinking of what would be the perfect plan to do next. And while thinking, it came to his mind his own words that he had said, that he had thrown to Shraddha multiple times during their argument. I will kill you and chop you off. And now, since he has already done the first half of his statements, he makes a decision. He decides that he would erase her. He goes out and gets a hammer, two large knife, and over the next few hours, he would sit down in the same room that he had killed Shraddha. He would chop off her body into pieces. 35 pieces to be exact. Blood was everywhere. He cleaned as he went. He wiped surfaces. He tried to control the smell using air fresheners and potpourri. The flat did not look like a crime scene after he was done. He was that good. He was that meticulous. The flat looked like a normal house that is being lived in. The next day, Aftab leaves the flat and goes and gets a refrigerator. It was placed and plugged in the same room that Shraddha died. And one by one, piece by piece, he started storing Shraddha's dismembered body into that refrigerator. After that, for the next few months, Aftab went on living his normal routine life as if nothing happened. He went to work, met with people, ordered food, ate, like, but at night, he would open the fridge, take out one part, put it in a plastic bag, and walk to the nearest forest. He chose the hours carefully, sometimes very late into the night, midnight, or early in the morning. He even skipped days to avoid patterns. He scattered her remains across different locations, believing wild animals would destroy the evidence. According to the police, he had researched on how to clean blood, how to avoid suspicions, how to cover up odors. He washed his clothes thoroughly, repeatedly. He poured chemicals down his drain to get rid of any blood possibly, and he even slept in the same room that had the fridge which now houses the remaining body parts of his once lover. At times, investigators claim he would look at her face before closing the fridge door. God, what would have been going on in Aftab's mind? Like, can we imagine that? Maybe justification, maybe detachment. Maybe he thought if he planned it properly and calculated properly, moved slowly and discarded her body parts properly, he would get rid of her forever? Like, I don't know. And for months, Shraddha was gone. Her phone was silent, her social media was inactive. Her friends thought that the relationship with Aftab has ended and maybe she just needed some time alone to heal. She was already very much estranged from her family, who didn't even know that she was living in Delhi at that point, remember? Then the silence became a little too loud. Her friends, who have been trying to contact her and locate her for months, unable to do so, now worried, they reached out to her father. Shocked by their claims and stories and coming to know about her big move to Delhi, her father finally filed a missing persons report on the 6th of October 2022. When police traced her last known location, all of it pointed back to Aftab, her boyfriend. And by the 12th of October the same year, they were already in contact with Aftab through phone calls. At first, Aftab acted all cool, saying that he has no idea where Shraddha is at that point because she supposedly left him back in May after a huge fight that got between them, and they have not been in contact ever since. But the investigators, they are smart people. They noticed the inconsistency in his story. The timelines were not adding up. They were shaky. One of the police inspector decides that he's going to go to Delhi to have a face-to-face questioning session with Aftab. And during the face-to-face questioning, presented with evidence of text messages and GPS logs, the truth began to slowly surface. Eventually, Aftab cracked under the pressure and confessed. When the investigators searched the flat, they found traces. Not super obvious, but still enough to know. They came to the fridge that still contained 14 plastic bags of human remains. Aftab told them everything, including removing Shraddha's liver and intestine, blending them into a mush, and feeding them to stray dogs. Police would find bone fragments still stuck, lodged in their kitchen blender. He then led the police to the forested area. With the help of sniffer dogs, some remains were recovered, mostly bones. DNA testing would confirm what everyone feared. It was definitely Shraddha Walkar, and she was gone. Aaftab was arrested in November of 2022 and was charged with murder and destruction of evidence. The charge sheet ran into thousands of pages, filled with digital footprints, search histories, location data, and forensic findings. Police found that 4 days after Shraddha had left in May, supposedly after the huge argument, there was a large sum of money, 54,000 Indian rupees, was transferred from Shraddha's account to Aaftab's account. Why would she do that? Because if she had left Aaftab after an argument, why would she want to transfer such a large amount to Aaftab? That does not make any sense, right? Right. And before joining the call center job, Aaftab has trained as a chef, right? Can you make the connection? This links him even closer to the butchering of Shraddha's body. The house owner also said that on that particular month, the water bill has spiked up so much more higher than usual, which simply means like he was using so much water to clean up the house, the flat, the blood, everything. Police would also find 5 knives believed to be the knives Aftab used on dismembering Shraddha's body. During court proceedings, Shraddha's family demanded for the harshest punishment possible. Her father publicly stated no amount of sentences, no amount of punishment would undo the horrible things that was done to his daughter. Unfortunately, her father, Vikas, had passed away recently on February of 2025 due to a cardiac arrest without even seeing justice being delivered. Shraddha's friends spoke about her kindness and her vulnerability. Aaftab pleaded not guilty. He claimed that it was never premeditated. It all happened in the heat of an argument. I do have to mention this because I read about this again and again and also heard in multiple different videos about this crime case that Aaftab never looked remorseful. Never looked remorseful, not even once, anywhere. I don't know how far that's true, but yeah, I read that in multiple different places because some people say not even during his polygraph test when he calmly admitted to chopping off Shraddha's body, blending them, and disposing them, he never had a remorseful face at all. There are also claims that after he did all of this, he went on meeting and dating other women using the same Bumble app. This guy, like, and imagine those women, those girls who met up with him and later on finding out that he is a criminal that had killed his girlfriend. Like, this is crazy. The trial process has been long, technical, and emotionally charged. As of the latest proceeding, Aftab remains in judicial custody awaiting final judgment. If convicted, he faces life imprisonment or the death penalty under the Indian law. This case shook India, not just because of how brutal it was, but because of how ordinary all this started. A normal dating app, a relationship, a shared home. Shraddha Walkar did not die because she trusted a dating app. She died because control was mistaken for love, because violence was hidden behind intimacy. Her late father, Vikas, had created something impactful before he left: the Shraddha Vikas Charitable Trust, a foundation focused on women's safety, and her legacy would live through that trust. Across India, memorials were held, candles were lit in remembrance of her name, and by talking about her here, we keep her name alive. Let's hope her remaining family gets the justice they deserve soon. So with that, you guys, we have come to the end of this video. Do not forget to leave me a thumbs up, maybe share the story with others, and if you have not done so, please don't forget to subscribe. That will really help this channel out. Thank you so much, you guys. Until the next video, Stay safe out there. Take care, and I will see you soon. Bye.